Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. Kelvin sat at the bar, nursing his third beer of the night. It had been another disappointing dating attempt. He'd thought Amber was different from the others. She seemed genuinely interested in him, and they'd hit it off right away. But here he was, just a month later, being ghosted like so many times before. Women, he sighed, shaking his head. Can't live with them. Can't live without him. The bartender, a burly man with a no-nonsense attitude, raised an eyebrow. "Trouble with the ladies, bud?" Kelvin shrugged, running a hand through his messy brown hair. "Story of my life, man. I just can't seem to catch a break. Maybe you're looking for love in all the wrong places." The bartender grabbed a towel and began polishing a glass, his eyes flicking toward the door of the bar. "Sometimes you gotta change up your strategy, you know? Try something new." Kelvin snorted. "Like what? I've tried online dating, blind dates, asking friends to set me up. Hell, I even tried that new speed dating thing. It's always the same result. Rejection." The bartender grunted in sympathy. "Well, maybe you're just not their type. Ever thought of that?" Kelvin scowled. "What's that supposed to mean?" "I'm just saying, maybe you need to switch things up. You know, change your look, act differently. Women like a challenge, someone who stands out from the crowd." Kelvin considered this, his brow furrowing. "You think I should try being someone I'm not? That feels kind of fake, you know." The bartender shrugged. "Not saying you should lie about who you are. Just present yourself differently. Women are attracted to all sorts of things. Confidence, mystery, a sense of humor. Maybe you're not showcasing your best assets." Kelvin took a long swig of his beer, thinking, "I guess I could try something new. I mean, what do I have to lose at this point?" "Attaboy," the bartender said, slapping the bar lightly. "You just need to find your niche, my friend. It's like fishing. You gotta use the right bait for the fish you're trying to catch." Kelvin chuckled. "Great, so now I'm reduced to choosing a persona like it's a damn costume party. Hey, it's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about showcasing different aspects of yourself. We all have multiple facets to our personalities, right? Maybe it's time to let a different side shine through." "I guess that makes sense," Kelvin conceded. "But it still feels a little weird." The bartender grinned. "Nothing wrong with trying something new. Who knows, you might even enjoy it." Kelvin finished his beer and stood up, stretching his lanky frame. "All right, I'll give it some thought. Thanks for the advice, anyway." "Anytime, bud. Good luck out there." As Kelvin turned to leave, the bartender called out, "Hey, just remember, be careful what you wish for. You might just get it." Kelvin waved without turning back, rolling his eyes slightly at the bartender's dramatic farewell. Little did he know those words would prove eerily prophetic. One morning, Kelvin awoke to a stream of bright sunlight pouring through his window. He groaned, burying his face in the pillow. His head throbbed and his mouth felt like the Sahara Desert. Clearly, he'd had one too many beers last night. With a resigned sigh, he pushed himself up, swinging his legs over the side of the bed. His feet touched something soft and he looked down, confusion furrowing his brow. Pink fuzz. Lots of it. His eyes widened as he realized what it was. A pair of fuzzy slippers, in a size that would only fit tiny feet. His heart began to pound as he noticed other things. The satin nightgown he now wore, the smooth skin of his legs, and the unmistakable feeling of breasts pressing against the thin fabric. "What the actual He cut himself off as he stumbled to the bathroom, his heart hammering in his chest. The mirror confirmed his worst fear, or perhaps his deepest wish. Staring back at him was a young woman with long, curly brown hair, full lips, and wide, startled brown eyes. "Oh my God," he whispered, his voice now a soft, feminine alto. What the hell happened? His mind raced as he tried to make sense of his transformation. Had he somehow drunk a magic potion last night? Was this some kind of weird dream? He pinched himself hard, wincing at the pain, and decided it definitely wasn't a dream. His hands shook as he explored his new body, marveling at the softness of his skin and the curves that had replaced his once lean frame. He felt a surge of strange sensations, vulnerability, exposure, and a certain tenderness he'd never experienced before. After a few moments, a new panic set in. Crap, I need to pee. He quickly figured out how to use his new body for this particular function, blushing as he realized he'd have to sit down from now on. As he finished up, he noticed something that made his heart sink even further. A box of tampons sitting on the tank next to the toilet. "Oh no," he moaned, his eyes widening in horror. "This can't be happening. Please don't let it be that time of the month." He shot a nervous glance at the box, his lips moving as he read the words. "Playtex Sport Super Tampons for heavy flow days." His stomach dropped. Heavy flow days? Great, just what he needed to make this situation even worse. He felt a surge of anger mixed with dismay. How was he supposed to deal with this? He had no idea how tampons worked, and the thought of dealing with his period on top of everything else was utterly overwhelming. "Okay, Hazel, breathe," he told himself, using the name that suddenly popped into his head. He didn't know where it came from, but it felt right. "You can figure this out, one step at a time." Taking a few steadying breaths, he reached for the box of tampons, his hands shaking. "All right, let's do this. How hard can it be?" Famous last words. "Ugh, why is this so complicated?" he griped, wincing as he pulled his underwear back up. "How do girls deal with this every month?" He gave himself a moment to adjust to the foreign feeling. "All right, let's tackle the next problem. Clothes." Surveying his limited wardrobe, he realized he had a new set of challenges. His old clothes would never fit his new figure, and he had no idea how to dress like a woman. With a heavy sigh, he began rifling through his sister's old clothes that she had left in their shared apartment when she moved out to her boyfriend's a few months ago. "Thank God she left her stuff here," he muttered, holding up a pair of tight black leggings. "Hopefully she won't mind me borrowing some things until I can figure out my next move." 15 frustrating minutes later, Hazel had managed to put together a passable outfit: black leggings, an oversized green sweater, and a pair of his sister's old boots. He stared at his reflection, his heart sinking. "I look like a hot mess," he complained, tugging at the sweater self-consciously. "How do girls always look so put together?" With a heavy sigh, he grabbed his phone and sent a desperate text to his best friend, Gianna. "Gianna, I really need your help. Something crazy has happened and I don't know what to do. Can you come over ASAP?" He bit his lip nervously, hoping she wasn't too busy. They had classes together in college but hadn't talked in a while, each of them absorbed in their own lives. A minute later, his phone buzzed with her reply. "OMG, what's wrong? I'm on my way." Hazel collapsed on the bed in relief. At least he wouldn't have to face this alone. A knock on the door startled him, and he jumped up, smoothing down his sweater nervously. "Come in." The door swung open to reveal Gianna, her dark eyes wide with concern. "Calvin? What's going on? You looked freaked out in your text." Hazel took a deep breath. "You might want to sit down for this." Gianna's eyes narrowed as she took in his strange outfit and the anxious look on his face. "Okay, this is scary. What happened?" Hazel's lips twisted in a nervous smile. "Remember that wish I made about wanting to be a girl?" Understanding dawned on Gianna's face. "Oh my God, you didn't!" He nodded, his heart pounding. "I know, it's crazy, but somehow it happened. I woke up like this." Gianna's eyes widened further, if that were possible, as she took in his new appearance. "Whoa, this is wild. Tell me about it," he muttered, running a hand through his long hair. "I have no idea how this happened, but here we are." She stepped forward, her eyes shining with excitement. "Can I touch your hair?" He hesitated, then nodded, watching as she ran her fingers through the curls, a look of wonder on her face. "It's so soft. And your skin. It's like porcelain." He blushed, feeling strangely flustered by her words. "Thanks, I guess." Gianna's eyes sparkled with amusement. "You know, you make a really gorgeous girl, Kel. I mean Hazel." He smiled wryly. "Thanks, I think. But this is way more complicated than I expected." Her expression softened. "I can only imagine. I'll help you however I can, okay? We'll take this one step at a time." Relief washed over him. "Thanks, G. I really need a friend right now." She squeezed his shoulder. "Always here for you, no matter what crazy situation you get yourself into." He laughed, some of the tension easing from his shoulders. "Well, let's start with the most pressing issue. How the hell do I deal with this?" He held up the box of tampons. Gianna's eyebrows shot up. "Oh boy, looks like you got your period, huh? That's rough. Let me walk you through the whole shebang. Using tampons is actually not that hard. You'll get used to it." Over the next hour, Gianna gave him a crash course in all things feminine hygiene, from tampons and pads to the intricacies of the female anatomy. His cheeks burned with embarrassment more than once, but he was determined to learn as much as he could. "Okay, so that's the basics," Gianna concluded, plopping down on his bed. "Any other questions?" He bit his lip, then asked hesitantly, "What about shaving?" She grinned. Yes, the never-ending battle against body hair. Welcome to our world." He winced as he encountered the patch of hair that had sprouted overnight. "This is so weird," he muttered, running his fingers through the curly strands. Gianna laughed. "Tell me about it. But it's not that hard once you get the hang of it." She jumped up and rifled through his sister's drawers. "Lucky for you, your sis left her epilator behind. Might hurt a bit, but at least it'll get the job done." With that, she handed him the small device and motioned for him to follow her to the bathroom. Over the next hour, Hazel received a step-by-step guide on how to use the device and even got a few tips on how to minimize the pain. As the epilator whirred, removing the hair from his legs, Hazel grimaced. "Ow, that hurts. How do you girls do this all the time?" Gianna shrugged, applying some moisturizing cream to his now hairless legs. "We're used to it, I guess. And some of us are lucky and have less body hair. It is what it is." "I guess," he grumbled, feeling a new sense of respect for the female gender. "This is way more work than I realized." She patted his shoulder sympathetically. "I know, it's a lot to take in. But don't worry, you'll get the hang of it. We all had to learn at some point." He sighed, feeling slightly reassured. "I guess so. It's just a lot to process." Gianna's eyes sparkled with mischief. "I know what will cheer you up. Let's do your makeup." He raised an eyebrow. "Makeup? I thought that was optional." She laughed. "Honey, makeup is a girl's best friend. It's like war paint. It makes us feel fierce and confident. Besides," she added with a wink, "it'll complete your new look." He hesitated, then conceded. "All right, why not? I'm already in way over my head. Might as well go all out." Gianna clapped her hands excitedly. "Yes, let's get started." Over the next hour, Hazel found himself transformed yet again as Gianna applied various potions and pigments to his face. He watched in fascination as his features were enhanced and transformed. His eyes widened and brightened with a swipe of mascara, his lips plumped and colored a soft pink, and his cheekbones accented with a sweep of blush. "There!" Gianna stood back, hands on her hips, surveying her handiwork. "What do you think?" Hazel stared at his reflection, barely recognizing the girl staring back at him. "Wow," he breathed. "I look beautiful." Gianna beamed. "I know, right? Makeup is seriously magic." He smiled, feeling a surge of gratitude for his friend's expertise and support. "Thank you, G. I couldn't have done this without you." She hugged him. "Anytime. Now let's go show the world your new look." Hazel's heart hammered in his chest as they left the apartment and walked toward the nearby cafe. He felt incredibly self-conscious, expecting people to stare and point, but was surprised to find that no one gave them a second glance. Gianna noticed his apprehension. "Relax, you're doing great. Just act natural and no one will suspect a thing." He nodded, straightening his shoulders. "Right, I can do this." As they entered the cafe, he felt a rush of adrenaline. The place was packed, with only a few empty tables available. He and Gianna slid into a booth, their eyes scanning the menu. "So, how does it feel to be living your wish?" Gianna asked, her eyes twinkling with curiosity. He considered the question as he ordered a latte. "Honestly, it's a mix of emotions. On one hand, it's thrilling to experience life as a woman. I feel empowered somehow. But it's also scary and overwhelming." Gianna sipped her coffee, her dark eyes thoughtful. "I can imagine. It's a whole new world with different challenges and expectations." He nodded, tracing the rim of his mug with a fingertip. "Exactly. And it's not as easy as I thought it would be. I mean, the whole dating thing might be easier, but there are so many other complications." "Like what?" Gianna prompted. He sighed, toying with a sugar packet. "Well, for one, the whole period thing. I had no idea it was so messy and complicated. And then there's the body image issues, the pressure to look a certain way, the constant worrying about safety." Gianna nodded sympathetically. "Yeah, girls have to deal with a lot of crap. Society puts a lot of pressure on us to look and act a certain way." "Exactly," he said, feeling a surge of frustration. "And I had no idea. I feel like I've been blind to all of this my whole life." Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of their drinks. Hazel took a sip of his latte, savoring the sweet, creamy flavor. As he set the cup down, he noticed a handsome guy at the next table giving him an appraising look. Their eyes met, and the guy smiled, revealing a dimple in his left cheek. Hazel felt his cheeks heat up as he returned the smile. When did I get so flustered by a guy's attention? He wondered, intrigued by the unfamiliar sensation. "So, do you think it's permanent?" Gianna's voice interrupted his thoughts. He blinked, dragging his attention back to his friend. "What?" "Your transformation," she clarified. "Do you think it's here to stay?" He shrugged, feeling a flicker of anxiety at the thought. "I have no idea. I mean, I didn't think it would last this long, but now I slowly start to think I really am my girl." Gianna's eyes sparkled with amusement. "Well, if it is, I think you're going to be just fine. You make a stunning woman, Hazel." Hazel smiled at Gianna's compliment, feeling a warm glow of pride. "Thanks, G. I guess if this is permanent, I might as well embrace it, right?" Gianna grinned. "Absolutely. And I'll be here to help you every step of the way. Better get used to the she-her pronounces then, babe." Hazel and Gianna finished their coffee, chatting and giggling like old friends. As they left the cafe, Hazel felt a newfound sense of confidence and excitement about her future. "So, what's next on the agenda?" Gianna asked, looping her arm through Hazel's. Hazel considered for a moment. "Well, I guess I should probably do some shopping. I can't keep borrowing my sister's clothes forever." Gianna's eyes lit up. "Ooh, yes! Let's hit the mall. I know all the best stores for finding cute outfits." Hazel grinned, feeling a thrill of anticipation. "Lead the way." As they walked, Hazel couldn't help but marvel at how natural it felt to stroll arm in arm with her best friend, their hips swaying in sync. She noticed the appreciative glances from men and women alike, and felt a surge of feminine pride. At the mall, Gianna led her to a trendy boutique where they spent the next hour trying on various outfits. Hazel was amazed at how different clothes felt on her new body, the way a dress hugged her curves, the way a pair of heels made her feel powerful and nice. "Wow, girl, you look hot," Gianna exclaimed as Hazel emerged from the dressing room in a fitted red dress. Hazel did a little twirl, feeling the skirt flare out around her thighs. "You think so?" "Definitely," Gianna assured her. "That color looks amazing on you." Hazel beamed, running her hands over the silky fabric. "I think I'm starting to get the hang of this whole fashion thing." They left the store with several bags in tow, Hazel's wallet considerably lighter, but her heart full. As they walked through the mall, a group of guys passed by, their eyes lingering on Hazel's legs. As they continued their shopping spree, Hazel found herself drawn to the lingerie section of a department store. "See anything you like?" Gianna asked, waggling her eyebrows suggestively. Hazel blushed, feeling a thrill of excitement. "Maybe. I've never really worn fancy underwear before." Gianna grinned. Well, now's your chance. Every girl needs a few pretty things in her wardrobe. With Gianna's help, Hazel picked out a few matching sets, her heart fluttering as she imagined wearing them under her clothes. As they left the store, Hazel's phone buzzed with a text from her sister. "Hey, where are you? Mom's been trying to reach you all day." Hazel's heart sank. She had been so caught up in her transformation that she had completely forgotten about her family. "Everything okay?" Gianna asked, noticing her friend's distress. Hazel bit her lip. "It's my sister. I totally forgot to tell my family about, well, all of this." Gianna's eyes widened. "Oh, wow, that's going to be an interesting conversation." Hazel sighed, running a hand through her hair. "I know, but I can't keep avoiding them forever. I guess it's time to face the music." Gianna squeezed her hand. "I'm here for you, no matter what. You've got this." Hazel took a deep breath, steeling herself for the conversation ahead. "Thanks, G. I don't know what I'd do without you." They made their way back to Hazel's apartment, where she spent the next hour trying on different outfits and practicing what she would say to her family. "Maybe I should just ease them into it," she mused, holding up a flowy blouse. "Like, start with the clothes and then work my way up to the whole I'm a girl now thing." Gianna raised an eyebrow.
"I don't know, Hayes. I think it might be better to just rip off the Band-Aid, you know? Get it all out there at once."
Hazel sighed, flopping down on the bed.
"You're probably right. I don't want them to freak out."
Gianna sat down beside her, putting an arm around her shoulders.
"I know it's scary,
but they love you, Hazel. They might be shocked at first, but they'll come around. And if they don't, well, screw them. You've got me." Hazel leaned into her friend's embrace, feeling a surge of gratitude.
"Thanks, G. I don't know what I'd do without you."
Taking a deep breath, Hazel picked up her phone and dialed her sister's number. "Hey, it's me," she said, her voice shaking slightly. "I know I've been missing in action today, but—"
"There's something I need to tell you and Mom and Dad. Can we meet up somewhere to talk?"
There was a pause on the other end of the line.
Sure. Is everything okay?"
"You sound weird." Hazel swallowed hard. "Yeah, everything's fine. I have some news. Can we meet at the park in an hour?" "Okay, see you then." Hazel hung up, her heart pounding. "Well, that's that. No turning back now." Gianna gave her a reassuring smile.
"You've got this. And remember, I'm just a phone call away if you need me."
An hour later, Hazel found herself sitting on a bench in the park, her leg bouncing nervously as she waited for her family to arrive. She had chosen a simple outfit, jeans and a sweater, not wanting to overwhelm them with her new look right away. She spotted them walking towards her and stood up, her palms sweating. Her mom's face was etched with concern, while her dad and sister just looked confused. "Kelvin?" her mom asked, her voice uncertain. "Is that you?" Hazel took a deep breath. "Actually, it's Hazel now. And yes, it's me." There was a moment of stunned silence as her family took in her appearance. Her sister was the first to speak. "What the hell is going on? Why do you look like a girl?" Hazel felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes. "I know it's hard to believe, but somehow my wish came true. I woke up like this." Her mom stepped forward, her eyes wide. "What wish? What are you talking about?" Hazel bit her lip. "A few weeks ago, I made a wish on a shooting star. I wished that I could know what it was like to be a girl. And now, here I am." Her dad shook his head, looking bewildered. "But how is that possible? Things like that don't just happen." Hazel shrugged helplessly. "I don't know how it happened, but it did, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, but this is who I am now." Her mom's face softened, and she reached out to touch Hazel's cheek. "Oh, honey, I can't even imagine how confusing this must be for you." Hazel leaned into her touch, feeling a rush of relief. "It is, but I'm trying to embrace it, you know? Learn what it means to be a woman." Her sister still looked skeptical. "So what? You're just going to live as a girl from now on?" Hazel nodded. "I think so. I mean, I don't know if this is permanent or not, but for now, yeah, I'm Hazel." Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Patreon for a lot more content and early access to YouTube videos.